செய்திக் கதம்பம்.
இன்றைய செய்திக் கதம்பத்தில் சென்னையில் நடைபெற்ற தென்னிந்திய வர்த்தகம் மற்றும் தொழிற்சங்கத்தின் 114வது ஆண்டு பொதுக்குழு கூட்டத்தில் பங்கேற்று மத்திய நிதியமைச்சர் திருமதி நிர்மலா சீதாராமன் ஆற்றிய உரை மற்றும் மத்திய அரசின் சமூக வலைதள பதிவுகள் ஆகியவை இடம்பெறுகின்றன. முதலில் மத்திய நிதியமைச்சர் திருமதி நிர்மலா சீதாராமன் ஆற்றிய உரை.
We need to have, at a time or at the juncture in which India is located in, stability in policy, a predictable tax regime, and also continuity in administration, so that businesses can be sure that there will be some steady pathway with which they can go ahead with their plans. More so because globally, for various different reasons, you're seeing not so stable a world. And if instability is the feature all across the globe, either because of war or because of the closed economies which are still ruling the roost in some parts of the world, or because how global commons have become now subject to a lot of what may be called high sea piracy or attacks on cargo vessels, and the essentials which keep moving from one part of the world to the other are now avoiding conflict zones and having to take a roundabout route to their destination. All of this is adding to the costs of everything that you want to buy and sell, import and export. As a result, there is stress in policy making all over the world. Over and above that, this particular year, there are more than 50 countries, all of which are going for elections at different times in the year. So if 50 countries are going for elections, and in many of them there seems to be a regime change possibility, India, which also went through an election process this year, fortunately could make the electing public understand the importance of continuity in regime. The point that I would want to place before you is India is at a cusp of moving towards and taking that trajectory which will lead us to a developed economy by 2047. And if in this trajectory you have obstructions, you're not going to be able to make it even in the next 30 years. Look at what you're doing at the moment. You are the fastest growing country. You contribute, as per IMF's own assessment, close to 16% of the global GDP. And if that is the contribution you're making to the global GDP at a time when even advanced economies are struggling, I know they start from a higher base, but even when advanced economies are not able to showcase more than 1% growth, 2% growth in their GDP, here is India touching 7%, and even a few days ago the World Bank reiterated that coming year too India shall grow at that level, 7%. And that is purely because stable policy making, steady and visionary leadership, together with the efforts of all the entrepreneurs in this country, efforts of small and medium industries, big industries which are generating jobs, which are also making sure in some sunrise sectors, India has the lead advantage. And because of that kind of an effort and the policy of the government to give production-linked incentive to those 13-14 sectors, sunrise sectors, you feel that there is a rapid growth in those sectors, whether it is advanced chemistry, green energy, green ammonia, hydrogen, renewable energy, where we have already proven to the world that in solar we are leaders. No wonder the Prime Minister started off the International Solar Alliance. There are talks of grids coming in the Southeast Asian countries, and with those grids and also from India, if renewable energy can dovetail with them, you're going to have a globally well established, at least one major part of the globe will have an established grid system through which power can be bought and sold. And that is where, talking to South India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I feel There is so much of potential lying here. The projects which are big ticket projects of connectivity, which Government of India is investing in, freight corridors, better rail corridors, particular commodity corridors. The railways are now actually extending for cement, for coal, for many other ores. There are corridors coming, rail freight corridors. It's going to cut down on transport costs. It's going to move commodities faster. You're going to be able to move from one port of call to the other end of the country in the hinterland. Similarly, Chennai to Bengaluru, nodes are now getting a lot of high priority investments. Uravakal node and also Kopparthi node in Andhra Pradesh. But for the corridor which runs from Chennai to Bangalore, passing through some of North Tamil Nadu border, are all going to give greater mobility for goods and services. So, government's policy, incentives which are being given, the schemes which have been announced in the budget, wherein there was a part reference made to it, skilling according to the needs of the industry. So when we are talking about an internship with top 500 companies in the country, it is funded by the government. Government pays these interns a monthly allowance of 5,000 rupees for a whole year. One-time amount of 6,000 so that the chap goes and adjusts in the place where he is now going to do internship with that money. And after that, every month he gets the government payment for the internship. All that the top 500 company are expected to do is to identify some instructors to handhold them during the internship on the shop floor. So if that is one of the schemes, it is going to ready people for those industry-ready qualities and skill. We also announced that we'll have all over the country the ITIs, which are largely with the state governments, will ready students, skill them for Industry 4.0. You're going in for robotics, you're going for Internet of Things, you're going to manufacture under the principles of Industry 4.0, which means Web 3 is going to take over your manufacturing processes, your packaging processes, your testing processes. Now the ITIs all over the country will be with industry partnership, training youth to become savvy in hand-holding them and making them hands-on experience. So the ITIs and the equipments will be all given by the government, and also the industry will come in to say, this is the kind of training I want from these boys. Okay, girls also. So they would be trained in the ITI and they can come with a diploma. So I think there's quite a lot of work which the industry can participate with the government, and industry on its own can extend a bit more in the interest of our economy.
மத்திய அரசின் சமூக வலைதள பதிவுகள். உத்தரப்பிரதேச மாநிலம் லக்னோவில் கட்டிடம் இடிந்து நேரிட்ட விபத்தில் உயிரிழந்தோரின் குடும்பத்தினருக்கு பிரதமர் திரு நரேந்திரமோடி ஆழ்ந்த இரங்கல் தெரிவித்துள்ளார். உயிரிழந்தவர்களின் குடும்பத்தினருக்கு தலா 2 லட்சம் ரூபாயும், காயமடைந்தோருக்கு தலா 50,000 ரூபாயும் நிவாரண உதவி வழங்கப்படும் என்று குறிப்பிட்டுள்ளார். நவ்காய் பண்டிகை இன்று கொண்டாடப்படுவதையொட்டி பிரதமர் திரு நரேந்திரமோடி வாழ்த்து தெரிவித்துள்ளார். விவசாயிகளுக்கு நன்றி தெரிவித்துக் கொள்வதாகவும், சமுதாயத்துக்கு அவர்கள் வழங்கும் பங்களிப்பு பாராட்டுதலுக்குரியது என்றும் குறிப்பிட்டுள்ள பிரதமர், அனைவரும் மகிழ்ச்சியுடனும் நல்ல உடல் ஆரோக்கியத்துடனும் வாழ வேண்டும் என்று வாழ்த்தியுள்ளார். விரைவான பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சியை கண்டுவரும் நாடாக இந்தியா திகழ்கிறது என்று மத்திய பாதுகாப்புத்துறை அமைச்சர் திரு ராஜ்நாத் சிங் கூறியுள்ளார். பாரிஸ் பாராலிம்பிக்ஸ் போட்டிகளில் 29 பதக்கங்கள் வென்று இந்தியா சாதனை படைத்துள்ளதாக மத்திய விளையாட்டுத்துறை அமைச்சர் திரு மன்சுக் மாண்டவியா கூறியுள்ளார்.
இத்துடன் இன்றைய செய்திக் கதம்பம் நிறைவு பெறுகிறது.